No. You rise to the occasion. Experience comes with age, and I've been hearing a lot about age, you know?
Now, and I finally get to check that off my list, and I knew this was going to be a big fight. The build-up for this is huge. The press conferences are entertaining. It's a spectacle.
Only 17 days remaining before the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul showdown. The pressure continues to build as both fighters push themselves to their limits. Training has now reached its peak, with Joshua sharpening his power, timing, and footwork, while Jake pushes through intense conditioning to keep pace. Every session now carries weight, and the energy surrounding the matchup grows heavier as the countdown moves closer to fight night.
And I have nothing but love for him, but I'm going to knock him out respectfully, and you know, we can hug and kiss afterwards. Specifically kiss.
Joshua's training camp for his fight with Jake Paul is fully underway, and this time it marks a major shift as he has changed his training setup entirely. Joshua has not stepped into the ring since his knockout defeat in September 2024, followed by elbow surgery, making this camp even more critical. He is reportedly working on conditioning, technical drills, footwork, and ring craft with Usyk's coaching team, aiming to enter the fight sharper and more composed. Joshua admits the change has been significant. Training under a new camp has pushed him harder on both physical and mental levels. He's using this period to rebuild confidence, polish his strengths, and prepare seriously for what many see as a high-stakes return. Anthony Joshua begins each morning with intense ice baths designed to strengthen his body and speed up recovery throughout camp. The freezing temperatures reduce inflammation, keep his muscles fresh, and improve his mental toughness. Joshua believes these cold therapy sessions sharpen his focus and prepare him for the heavy workload that follows later in the day. It's a strict discipline that shows how committed he is to staying strong and fully ready for the upcoming fight. Anthony Joshua trains in an environment built on discipline, precision, and constant improvement, surrounded by experienced coaches whose methods focus on technique and strategic awareness. He approaches every session with purpose. His drills tighten his offensive burst while reinforcing a defense that reacts instantly. Coaches examine his rhythm, foot positioning, and punch variety, urging him to surpass old habits. Observers at ringside note how he handles each correction with full seriousness. Rather than depending on natural strength, he works to understand angles, distance, and counter opportunities. His movements grow more intentional as he shifts between defensive slips and sharp counter combination attacks. The atmosphere in this camp forces him to grow, not just physically but mentally, sharpening his instincts for the unpredictable moments that define heavyweight boxing.
He's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Alexander Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, pause.
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go into camp and they start training and do a little bit together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm traveling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously, after the Usyk fight, he's come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
Well, yeah,
job.
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helene, he had Otto Wallin, and he smashed Ngannou, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where what you've just said then, Spencer, like match him right. I felt he was matched right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just
obviously, I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to get an out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8-rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been.
But it's not about his
dedicated.
physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Alexander Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out.
Eddie Hearn views this matchup with seriousness, fully aware of how much rides on Joshua's performance. He understands the fight carries consequences far beyond simple pride. For Joshua, the outcome could determine the direction of the remaining chapter of his career. Hearn does not shy away from the truth. A loss in a fight like this would raise real doubts about whether continuing would be worthwhile. Yet despite the weight of the situation, Hearn's belief in Joshua remains strong. He feels the months of disciplined work have rebuilt Joshua's focus and sharpened his mindset. From conditioning routines to sparring sessions, Joshua has approached every part of the camp as if a world title were on the line. Hearn insists this mentality is what convinces him Joshua will rise to the moment. Confidence is further supported by reports from inside camp describing a fighter who trains with control and renewed drive, even with pressure surrounding him. Joshua keeps pushing forward, accepting the challenge instead of turning away from
And that you and AJ must retire if Jake Paul wins on December 19th. Stand by that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, oh, I suppose so. Shit, yeah. Look, I don't see a world where Jake Paul wins this fight. I know that boxing's boxing. I mean, what was it? Roy Jones came out this morning and said Jake Paul can win this fight.
Teddy Atlas as well.
Teddy Atlas. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, now I'm a bit worried. I won't retire. AJ should retire if he loses. No.
Sorry.
No, I see AJ winning this fight with ease, comprehensively, destructively, violently, and I don't see a world where Jake Paul is competitive in the fight, let alone win the fight. But luckily, AJ's not preparing in a way that he just thinks it's a joke. He's preparing for Jake Paul like he's a world title contender. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shorter camp. Yes, we've got to make weight this time around, but it doesn't matter. We should just slide through this guy and bash him up and beat him up, and we should do it early doors.
Just lastly, you said as well that you told Nikisa that he was weighing 290 when you were negotiating. What impact did that have? Did you feel like they would have gone even lower if they knew he was weighing 265?
I don't think that when you're negotiating on a weight, there's not one promoter in the world that would tell the truth about what the weight of the fighter was. And Nikisa knows that anyway. So it wasn't like we were being clever, but they wanted him to come to 240. And it's just, don't forget, AJ's never made weight before. So all of a sudden, he's he'd been in camp for, 2 or 3 weeks, and he's probably sitting at, 260, 265. And it's like, you got to make 245.
Your own major reason behind Joshua's growing confidence is the quality of sparring partners brought into his camp. Footage shows him trading shots with top-level heavyweights who each bring unique challenges. Jared Anderson, known for explosive power and relentless pressure, forces Joshua to stay sharp on defense. Anderson tests every reaction and punishes hesitation, requiring Joshua to stay alert from the opening bell to the final seconds. Frank Sanchez presents an entirely different test with his technical, fluid style. His ability to glide around the ring, slip punches, and maintain balance pushes Joshua to adjust quickly. Against Sanchez, Joshua must think fast, tune his footwork, and engage more strategically. These sessions are more than physical battles, they recreate the intensity of elite competition. Each opponent brings pressure Jake Paul has never experienced. The variety in styles helps Joshua build a complete game plan centered on timing, accuracy, and the ability to shift strategies instantly.
Being dwarfed by these way bigger heavyweights like Jared Anderson, Frank Sanchez, and Lawrence Okoli. Okoli is like 6'4.5", 6'5", and these guys are like 6'3", 6'4", probably. So now Jake Paul is the one that's smaller. So first of all, I will give credit to Jake Paul. Clearly, he's a person who is taking his career seriously. These are quality sparring. I mean, a real boxer, because people say he's not a real boxer, but a real boxer would be using the same guys in their sparring camp. In fact, I just told you Joshua used Lawrence Okoli. I don't know if he sparred with Anderson or Frank Sanchez, but these are all regular ranked heavyweights. So credit to Jake Paul for that. And I mean, he's going to need it. Joshua is a different breed to, like, you know, a Mike Perry when it comes to boxing. Different frame, different size. In case you didn't believe me, right? Jake Paul, this is what MVP Promotions posted. So Jake Paul top sparring, right? Heavyweights. And here's some pictures of Joshua with Lawrence Okoli. And again, Joshua, a big dude, but you see Lawrence Okoli, and he probably was cruiserweight back then. I mean, I don't know exactly when this picture was taken, but he's only like an inch shorter than Anthony Joshua. And now, as he's moved up to the full heavyweight, he has filled out more. You see, he looks even bigger than when he was a cruiserweight. Now, I gotta research it, but I want to say I thought Lawrence